My husband's new friendship is making me uncomfortable. I originally posted this on AITH, but someone helpfully directed me here for better advice. AITH for being uncomfortable with my husband's new friend? Okay, context. A few months ago, my husband Jay became friends with this girl S. He hangs out with her a decent amount of the time, once a week to every other weekish, which is decent given our work schedules. I have never met her nor have I been invited to. It's been mentioned that she wants to meet me, however plans are never made and I'm not invited when he goes. He says he's also hanging out with her boyfriend, but again, I've never met these people. A few things that really rub me the wrong way. He's been doing a lot for her and gave her our space heater, which I have no problem with him being helpful or kind, but it seems that he tries to solve it whenever she has an issue. I asked about donating the Nintendo Switch that we literally never use and has sat in a drawer for years to a child in need, and he said no because he told us she could borrow it sometime, and he can't go back on his word that she could maybe borrow it sometime. However, he promised an incredibly close friend of mine that she could for sure have our old Xbox as a Christmas gift, and is fine going back on that for me to donate that instead. Also, every single time we've gotten in a fight since he met her, he's stormed out the house and run to her place. He does not return for hours and does not contact me at all while he's gone. I only know where he is because we have iPhones and I have his location. After making a huge deal about spending Christmas with me, he spent less than 2 hours with me and went to a party with her that I wasn't invited to and was gone all afternoon and night. I spoke to him about all of these points and said I was uncomfortable, and he swore nothing was going on, but apparently turned right around and told her what we talked about. Because she's my friend, of course, I told her. And A, this makes him more Suze like you got your stories straight, and B, now it's gonna be weird with me and her if we meet, not that I even want a relationship with a female who runs to my husband every time she has a problem. He has other female friends whom I adore and does none of this shit with them, so this is not just me hating other women or some dumb shit. Am I crazy for being uncomfortable? Especially considering he doesn't tell me what they talk about, but immediately turned around and told her about a private conversation he and I had. Last thing I found out today, she's single. Apparently she dumped her boyfriend last night. Guess who she came to first? I want to trust him, but I also don't want to be stupid and end up more upset, hurt. And absolute worst case scenario, if something is going, I sure as hell don't want an STD.
Confession 2. I might have accidentally K***led my pastor. Picture me sitting on a cold morning on a hard church bench with an empty stomach and nothing but the taste of stale toothpaste in my mouth. I came to church this morning with my parents and brother. Well, this morning, as it so happens, I have been met with a severe, bipolar case of morning wood. As I have to sit up and down, shift back and forth and so on for mass, I am unable to get a discreet tuck. Consequently, I'm left with a pecker spinning around my pants like a compass at the North Pole. To ease my mind, I decide to put my hands on the bench in front of me, but no, that's too hard, only makes it worse. Then I try my coat pockets, no, too soft, only makes it worse. Well, now I'm sitting here, imagining sand in my mouth and picturing tumbleweeds. This helps, and trying to balance staying awake, with a look of intense concentration, when I hear boom. My eyes refocus, and I see people from all over rush to the stage. And then I realize what happened. The pastor died and my boner killed him. He had fell and is on the ground with others surrounding him. Now this is what happens when you get a boner in church, this right here. And just like that, it is gone. I see other families, children crying, and I'm still in a sort of confused daze when I look at the rest of my family. And then I see my brother. You ever find yourself in a situation where you can't laugh and that makes it somehow even more funny? Well, I look over to see this guy, and within a second his cheeks puff out, and he turns into a pufferfish trying to hold in his laugh. I immediately turn to my right, placing my hand over my face in shame and concealing my smile, making it look like him crying instead, shaking my head for added effect. Well, now people are standing and praying, and I get to doing my part. I'm having a personal conversation with God, asking for forgiveness, praying for this pastor, and swatting away hands trying to hold mine in prayer. Well, after a while I realized there's not really much point in staying now. Someone had already called the ambulance, and it was out of my hands. I mean, if you went to a Beyoncé concert and she left, leaving her background dancers to throw something together, would you stay? I mean, let's be real here. Well, my brother and dad realized this and walked out, and I followed. I have to admit, guilt did get to me a little. As I got to the door, I saw the ambulance and had to act like I was doing something. OH. There it is, I exclaimed as I quickly cleared the doorway, acting in a helpful manner. Inside was basically part 2 of Lord of the Flies, everyone seeing who would now take the place of the fallen pastor. P.S. The pastor did seem in good spirits and came to as he left in the ambulance. My thoughts and prayers are with him, and I shall reflect deeply and repent for this day. Confession 3. Having a tiny dick is not masculinity. Venting. I am utilizing the term media to discuss the conclave of both traditional and social media. False narratives are propagated by media because they have no capability to think rationally. They are powered by a collective of tiny dicks, a significant portion of whom are the ultra-wealthy few, of which their own investments then promote themselves as what they want the world to see. Mark Zuckerberg was recently quoted saying companies need more masculine energy and have been neutered by feminine energy. This should be proclaimed as what it is: tiny dick energy. Masculinity and femininity are broad, socially and culturally shaped concepts that describe traits, behaviors, and roles traditionally associated with men and women. Healthy masculinity is characterized by traits that promote strength, responsibility, and care while respecting freedom, agency, individuality, and others' well-being. I call this, and I suspect most emotionally resilient and healthy women would agree, big dick energy. Men with big dick energy operate from a place of strength and resilience. They do not sway with the tiny dick collective known as politicians, nor what media proclaims as "an in the manosphere." The manosphere is nothing more than tiny dick individuals who promote themselves unbeknownst to most as false idols of masculinity. Men with big dick energy have worked out their shit so they can operate on the daily with emotional strength and regulation. Since they worked out their shit, they also benefit from the mental resilience required to face challenges and persevere with integrity. Real men lead with their strengths and humbly accept accountability by taking responsibility for their actions and decisions. Empathy does not require dominance to prevail. That's the core flaw of men with tiny dick energy. Big dick energy inherently protects and supports their families and communities, providing safety, security, and support without controlling others. They are a dependable source of encouragement for both loved ones and their community. Men with big dick energy have courage to face real fears, starting with those that lurk within themselves. They operate with vulnerability, allowing themselves to be emotionally open and authentic. These men are the real panty droppers, and they don't require anyone to say it to stroke their fragile ego. The tiny dick collective lives their lives perpetually wishing for these things, yet has no comprehension of how to attain them. Speaking of femininity, the tiny dick collective knows nothing about. Healthy femininity involves traits that emphasize nurturing, emotional intelligence, and creativity while valuing individuality and strength. It is ever elusive to the tiny dick collective. Why shouldn't work culture possess empathy and care for their staff and the people they affect and impact in the world? The tiny dick collective does not possess the ability to deeply understand nor value others' perspectives. They don't foster community, nor do they support personal relationships or communities with their actions. Feminine traits are collaborative, valuing teamwork and fostering connection that encourages mutual growth and freedoms for all. The healthy women and men that don't fear feminine traits celebrate collective achievement in lieu of individual competition. Feminine traits also include emotional strength and intuition. I nicknamed this trait the mother signal after learning about its amazing ways through listening to my wife. The mother signal provides the ability to tune into and trust one's inner voice. It has empowered me, as a man, to hone in and better process my emotions, as well as constructively and encouraging others to do the same. Women, and sometimes men, who truly embrace feminine attributes possess strength in creativity and adaptability in the face of tiny dick energy. They foster imaginative solutions to challenges, adapting gracefully to change and encouraging innovation. So, the next time you hear the tiny dick collective and their collective media brainwashing machines promote this conflated narrative, Please recall that real masculine and feminine qualities represent a spectrum of amazing human experiences, rather than rigid categories tied to gender which are used to belittle work culture and community.